I'll add in an effect of you lot cheering because you were quite quiet there, apart from Scott. Thank you, Scott, for joining in there. That was great.
Shout out to collaboration.
I haven't introduced anyone yet. They don't even know whether no Scott's here. But anyway, my name's Colin. Thank you. Welcome to Danger Recall, Part 13. Today we're going to be talking about episode 15 of the Danger Club podcast. Danger Recall, the old news show. With me today, I have my guests. I've got Scott. Hello, Scott.
And a happy new year.
And I've got Ross.
Na, 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 na.
And I got Daniel.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy New Danger.
Happy New Year. Happy New Danger. Yeah. What did you get for Christmas? Anything?
I'll tell you what I did to over Christmas. Actually, I'll tell you what I did since our last episode, which Ross will be very pleased of. I watched the movie Total Recall, so I know everything that happened in that film.
Yeah. How was it, Dan?
I'm lying. I didn't watch it at all.
No, I know you didn't.
Never. I will never watch that film. I will never watch any film we reference on this show. In fact, I'm paying to. I'm doing an Eternal Sunshine, which I have seen, on any film that we do reference in this show to erase any memory of it, so that I can have a clean sheet on all of our references.
Do you know what? Next year, if we're allowed to go to the cinema or something, we're going to arrange a big party where we go to the cinema and we're going to hire it out and we're going to play Total Recall and we're going to make you watch it, Dan.
Like Clockwork Orange with the eyelids forced open.
Sellotape.
What date's that? Because I think I'm busy.
That's going to be your birthday treat.
Yeah.
Us forcing you to watch a film you're not really that interested in. Yeah. Right. Well, Christmas is gone. The new year's here. 2021. We're going to have 2021 vision now. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be so much better than 2020. It's going to blow 2020 out the window.
Oh, that's what we said about 2020, man.
I can already feel the weight of the inspirational Instagram quotes just burying everybody about 2021.
Yeah. We don't talk about 2020.
Yeah.
Dad, why is there no 2020 in the history books? We don't talk about 2020. That's what it's going to be like, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. Cool. Excellent. So,
You're the host, Colin.
I know. I'm enjoying the silence for comedy effects. I love it.
Enjoy the silence, by the way. It's a great Depeche Mode song. Released in...
We're going to deep dive on that.
Big up silence.
Yeah. Shout out to the absence of
noise.
noise.
The top of the dome. Off the top of the dome. Let's do it.
No, okay, I'll make it up. Released in 1994. It was Depeche Mode's second studio album. And when they went on tour with this, when they were in California, they actually did a whole 3 minutes of silence as a bit of a joke to the crowd. They introduced Enjoy the Silence, and they just did 3 minutes of silence, and people got it a minute in. But then what people started doing in the second minute is singing along themselves. So when they the crowd were doing it, then Depeche Mode came in, having been introed by their own crowd to their own song, and they used Enjoy the Silence to finish off the set. It was banging. I was there. It was amazing.
Amazing. That sounds sick, actually. Nice one. Good deep dive. So we're talking about episode 15, which was released on the 10th of September in 2018. This is called Friendly Neighborhood Spider Drowl, which I think is a reference to Spider-Man. Am I right, Dan?
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Any other references that's been used in? My favourite reference to that quote from Spider-Man is from Wu-Tang Protect Your Neck, when Inspector Deck says, swinging through your town like your neighborhood Spider-Man. So tick-tock, keep ticking. And I could go on, but I'm not going to. But there you go. From their first album, 36 Chambers. Check out that song, Protect Your Neck, if you've never heard that before. Any other references to that quote?
Spider Pig.
Spider Pig.
Spider Pig. You know that one. There
Brilliant.
You go.
Yep.
You're just saying things that start with spider, aren't you? There's nothing to do with the quote, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we had music from Kevin MacLeod and Sword Coast Soundscapes and Ross Budgeon again. I believe we do start mixing up our music quite soon, so you'll hear some different names. But it's good to mention those people because they are great. They have really helped us out during this podcast. Yes.
Colin.
Scott. Yeah.
Is it Kevin MacLeod?
I
don't know.
I've got MacLeod.
Yeah, I don't know how Scottish he is. I think it might depend on how Scottish he is. Like the Highlander, isn't his name something MacLeod, but it's spelt MacLeod?
Maybe it is MacLeod, yeah.
I don't know that for certain though. He might not be Scottish in the slightest. In which case, I've just assumed his Scottishness. I've foisted Scottishness upon Kevin.
Tweet us, Kev. Tweet us
Kev.
Scotland again. Yeah, we've asked Scotland to tweet us before, I'm sure.
We have.
I
mean, not to make this a segment, but it's Ross Bogdan as well.
Bogdan, no.
The G is before the D.
Okay, let's go.
But other than that,
let's go and re-record all the Danger Recall episodes.
Let's do it.
Apologies, Ross. Apologies, Kevin.
We don't.
It's okay, mate. Don't worry about it.
Hey. This is the first episode which we mentioned Comic Con.
Oh.
In my intro, I say, we're going to go be in Comic Con next week, so if you're there, come along and see us. Do you know what I mean? That's my younger voice self that I'm talking. I'm doing an impression of myself, a little bit younger. Oh, yeah, just a little bit like... It's a little bit like Bubba, actually, isn't it, to be honest?
Colin, where are we filming? Oh, well, where are we recording these episodes at the moment? Are we
this
still
episode, I believe, is still at the Secret Weapon.
Yeah. Oh, it is. You can really hear Colin internally vowing to never record here again in this one. This is when it's just kind of like, and it's gone from like referencing the sirens to just kind of like another siren there, and just moving on.
You can hear slight pauses in people. They're just like they're looking at me as if to go, "Should we pause? Should we pause?" So you can cut this out, and you can hear me through the microphone just shaking my head, going, "Don't worry about it. Just forget it. There's no way I'm getting rid of this."
Usually I'm always sitting next to Colin and he has his iPad on and he has got his notes up. And every time that there's an annoying thing or something that happens in the audio, he puts the time and then he puts the thing that happens. So he's got to go, but so it's easier for him to get that thing out of the episode. It's like, oh, for God's sake, 28 minutes. James burps, great.
Famous episode where we couldn't get rid of that burp.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's my least favourite bit in the whole show. Do you remember like really early on when it was like, oh, we'll all help out with music cues and we'll all note down like points when we want to have different bits of music in, and then Cole will have all these time codes. We'd do it, and we did it for a few episodes. We'd finish the episode, and all of us would look down at our blank pieces of paper because we'd just gotten into it. And Cole's like, okay, I'm doing that then.
And then also I'd send a message out going, "Hey, can we have that music? Can you send the ideas for music?" And then by the time everyone had got back to me, I'd be like, I've edited 4 episodes since then. I just ended up doing it myself, which is no disrespect to anyone, because I know that going back and forth is quite a lengthy process. So that's no disrespect.
But I'd be doing like the boring like legal thing, being like, can we make sure that we've got all the Creative Commons stuff and we got all the rights that we can definitely use this music on the show and it's monetizable and we need to like all the things. And then Drum would come back and be like, here's something a shaman gave me. He's like, can you get a release form from the shaman, Drum? No, okay.
Yeah. Scott, was you going to say something?
No, I just enjoyed that tiny little bit of my life when I was actually looking up music, like, and going to find what was free, and like just delving into like lovely like fantasy music that might have been applicable to our episodes. It's actually really enjoyable, like a nice, quite therapeutic hobby and pastime. It became less therapeutic when people weren't so clear on their branding on YouTube if they wanted you to pay for it or not. That's when it became slightly more aggressive. No, just handing stuff to Colin, you'd be putting in an episode and then be like, oh, they actually do want they didn't flag this up, it was free. And I was like, but it says, and that's when it became stressful. But yeah, it was nice. It was nice to do.
That was quite hard because at the time, I think I'd kind of send the episode off and then we'd upload it to Podbean or whatever, and then I'd get the message, oh no, we need to re-edit that, we need to take that song out. So then we'd have to find a song that was kind of similar, and there was a lot of going back and forth. I think we've got it down to quite a good technique now.
After a while, you just get a good library, don't you? And you find a few trusted sources that you can use legally.
Yeah, exactly.
And now, Colin, you make a lot of music for us as well, like the theme for this show. So
I make a little bit. I do make a little bit. There's been a few times in a few episodes where I've kind of composed something and put it in the background, which is kind of cool. I was thinking of starting up my own YouTube channel and putting stuff up there so other people can use it. But I'm selfish, so. This is the episode as well that we have the Yomadai song.
Oh, nice.
The Yomadai song was a big tune. big tune. The Yomadai song. Do you remember this? Someone went, Yomadai. And then Scott, you just started improvising again, which was amazing. So good. You're like, every now and then I get a little bit lonely and I need to Yomadai. And then we just carried on. This is the second time that our headphones were blown to smithereens because Ross, this time, not drum. Ross, you just go, Yomadai, and scream it down the microphone. And I think at this time I was the only one wearing headphones. I just let them off across the table. Just like, oh my God, my ears were burning. Yeah.
That was early technique, not doing well, but yeah. I've learned.
It's alright. It's good. There's. I loved the Yomadai song though. That was great.
It's a great one. I love the slightly uncertain Yomadai because none of us quite know when the Bright Eyes line is. Like, and that it's one of those songs that like has one extra little bit of dialogue, one extra line before the bit everyone knows. So everyone's like, Yomadai, is this the one? Okay, cool.
Yeah. God, I love that song. I throw it in like about 3 other opportunities in the campaign. I think I've just got it in as Shaka Bonhaka as well. I'm pretty sure. Slammed it in everywhere. Love that song so much, and the video. It's just so insane. I just love it. Oh.
Scott's big up to Scott because he's always really good at coming up with songs on the fly and inserting like lyrics that we're doing relating to the episode into the songs.
I think everyone's.
I think you're. Yeah, I think we all are, but I think you're especially quite good at it. Yeah, I mean, I can say you're shit at it if you want.
No, it's fine. It's cool. It's just not. Yeah, no, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. We do. It's this thing that we now offer. If you want a random song made for you, with that kind of big up, I now have to be like, I will. Just give me 5 seconds and 3 things that you like, and here's a song about those things. There's a group that do that. Who are they called? They're an Irish band. They do their live events, and people hold things up from the audience, and the guy will do. Slow rap, and he'll point things out in the audience, something about a lighter and your wallet is your phone, blah 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 blah. He does it like that. I think I might have mentioned that in the main show as well. But he's very good at it. He's very good at it, that guy. I
love it when people can do that on the fly. There's a guy called Harry Mack. He's a rapper, and he does all this stuff where he I don't know if you've ever seen this guy. He just goes up to people in the street, like long queues and things, and then he just starts rapping about what people are wearing, what people are doing. They're standing. It's so amazing. And he does does one where he's on Venice Beach, and people are just walking past, and he's just like, "Yo, I'm Harry Mack on Venice Beach," and he's just like picking things out about what, logos and hairstyles and there's one he did online as well. Like some guy just sat online and went, "Can you do one for me?" And he went, "Yeah." And all the things in his room, he was rapping about everything in his room. It was amazing. He's so cool. Harry Mack, check him out. Big up to Harry Mack.
No relation to Bobby Mack though.
No relation to Bobby Mack, unfortunately. But I'd like to hear Bobby Mack's freestyle raps. Dan? Challenge. Here we go.
Bobby Mack's freestyle raps. We'll get on that.
Yeah. No, right now. You got to do it right now.
Yeah, you got a freestyle.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
maybe another time. That's all right. We did put you on the spot.
Boo, Dan, boo.
We don't know. We don't throw each other under the bus. That's not what we do.
Yeah, we don't. We pick each other up.
This definitely happened before on the main show. We don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Now we've just leveled up. So Dan, how long did it take for you to get us to level up? Because I think we've talked about this on DMQs a while back, but didn't you want to level us up for quite a while, but we never went to sleep?
A little bit, not so much on this one. It definitely happens in some of the there are definitely some later level ups where it's just like this one pretty much fell at exactly the right point, as you want them to you want the group to level up right before they go to attack the warehouse, and that fits quite nicely. There have been other ones where it's just been like I think it was probably a level 5 or something like that, where I'm just like, next time you guys rest, I'm going to give you a level up, and everyone's just like, no, more drama, and just like treating it like 24 for a little bit, just constantly going. But this one fell at a decent time. But the 14 episodes in to get to level 2, and now we're on 113 or something episodes, and we're level 5. So it definitely that curve flattens out a little bit.
You do
because after a while we're like, oh no, what if we veer off the adventure ones and we have loads of adventures of just kind of stuff that we do in between them, so it kind of, the pacing kind of evens out.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Like, I'm always amazed when we go back to these ones at how differently first edition plays to second edition, and level ups are so, like, the fact that M has to wait 4 levels before he gets spells, which is a key part of his character.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of like, in first edition, it's like you don't get treats at every level. And it's a little bit better than, like, that's one of the things that was improved over 3.5 was they were like, oh, we try and give something every level. But there are still some dead levels where you don't really get anything particularly useful, or it's just go and look at the feats tree and pick yourself something from that, but you don't really get anything. Whereas second edition, it's like every level you get something something meaningful and something interesting, which is just like a modern way of role-playing games working now.
Yeah. And
so it's just one of those ways that, like, I feel so old when we listen back to it.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It wasn't that long ago, really. 2 years or something, 3 years maybe, almost 2.5 years.
But that system was 20 years old when it kind of switched over.
I guess so. We are still at the sequel weapon. Yeah, we laugh at Velda's tent again. I love this bit. Love this bit. Absolutely love this bit.
Carrying on joke. That's fun.
The Velda's tent thing, an ongoing thing. I just it's just so silly as well. Like, so silly. At this point in time, someone actually honks their horn outside. We're like chatting away and we just hear this beep, beep, beep. And we're like, okay, just have to deal with that, do we? As we're recording.
Shout out to signalling.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let people know if you're in danger. We decide to become, and on that note, this is a good link actually, we decide that we are going to be the Danger Club.
Oh.
Happens in this episode. Yeah. We actually go, are we going to do it or what? And then Fulton puts his hand up for every decision. Who wants to be the Danger Quellers? Fulton puts his hand up. Who wants to be the Danger Club? Fulton puts his hand up.
It's weird, isn't it? When we came up with the name for the podcast, we obviously knew that we were going to be called the Danger Club. And then it's trying to weave that into the story in an organic way.
God, yeah. I mean,
without it sounding like forced.
You've hit it on the head there, because we've called it the Danger Club. Now imagine if we just called ourselves, Bangle and the Journeys instead.
Yeah.
It'd just be like, come on.
I think I was kind of fighting against it for no reason whatsoever as well. I was like, are we really going to be called that? Are we going to be called that? Are we going to do that? Knowing full well that we obviously were.
How do we come up with the name, the Danger Club, when we originally started the podcast?
Do you know what, Ross? I was just about to ask the same thing. I was going to ask you, actually. I was going to say, because I remember talking to you about it. But yeah, how did we come up with the name of the Danger Club podcast? Why did we stick to that name?
Ross wouldn't know that.
Really?
No, you weren't there for the OG start.
So when they start, we talked about it before on previous shows.
We have talked about this before, haven't we? I thought we touched on this before.
I don't think we've talked about the origins of the name, the Danger Club. I think we've talked about when we've all started we talked about the Monday games that we used to have and the creation of them. But go on, Scott or Dan.
Tell us about the name Gen.
Well, it was just when we started playing after a good head nod.
I gave you a head nod and then I gave you a wobble.
The one time a visual cue has actually worked on Zoom. It started from when we were playing after work, we do a show and then we go to the pub and play it. And it started off as a bit of a joke of we're the nerds going out and be like, oh, what are you doing? And we're like, something cool. It's Danger Club. It was just that was all it was just kind of a gag about how nerdy it was. And it just ended up sticking. It became the name of the party in that campaign, and then it just sort of stuck.
The exact moment, I can almost remember it crystal clear as if it were yesterday. What it was, I think we'd been in this tourist attraction that we used to work at that was very good and we all loved it dearly. And you were talking, I'd just done a show, I come back in, and you and Joe were talking about it, Joe, who was in our original play group back in the day. And and you said something like, Club of Danger, Danger Club, or something that sounds like that. And I went, oh yeah, that's what we'll call the team, and then went back out, and you were both like, I don't think that's what we were. And then I think through inadvertently stumbling, I just came in. I was like, that sounds like a cool name for an adventuring team. And it was like, okay, I sort of got like off the back of that. I think it was Joe who originally came up with the original title.
Nice,
big up Joe.
And then Then we had a little. We created a Facebook group called the Danger Friends, and then we've just put danger in everything that we have ever done since.
I suppose it's like one of those cool kind of names that you give yourself when if we were a party of like 10-year-olds. If we're playing D&D or playing Pathfinder at like 10 to 15 years old, it might be a name that you give yourself in those sort of years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's what we wanted to do. I remember having that conversation with you, Ross, about you wanted to make it so it sounded like when you were a kid, when you would play these games, you wanted to give yourself a really cool like kind of club name and have badges and do little artwork for it and stuff like that. And that's what we wanted it to be like. I remember that conversation going on. I remember not really having that much of an input into the name myself, but I remember thinking, you know what you're talking about. Because going back to the fact that I haven't really played that much and I didn't really have an experience of playing it when I was younger, I thought these guys know what they're talking about when it comes to this, so I'm going to let them take a lead on it. And I really stepped back when it came to the name thing. Because if I'd have, we'd have been called, I don't know, the hip hop.
What would you have called it, Colin? Come on, give us your short list of names that you wanted to call the podcast.
I honestly don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Colin and the Furious Five.
Yeah, I would have thought about.
I suspect if you called us the hip hop, I think the hip hop podcast has probably already been taken, or we'd have ended up with the very wrong audience.
We'd have got a different audience. Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the ones that we were gonna so there was the Dangerous 7 or something, wasn't there? We flew that around because that was our name of the last campaign we did on our social game for Mondays. Or we tried to work it out because we were like, but there's never. We were like the Dangerous 7. Yeah, we were the Dangerous 7, and then the NPC would be like, "Why are you called the 7? There's only 6 of you," and you're like, or 5 of you, and you're like, "Yeah, exactly."
Do you remember that week when 7 of us turned up, and like Scott? I remember you going, "Guys, look at this! There's 7 people here. Look, this is a monumental occasion right now. There's 7 people. That we are the Dangerous 7," and everyone just kind of went, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, it was the only time we'd actually had 7 players at the table.
Yeah.
That was cool. It was a cool day.
But inside I was like, yeah, man, that was cool. So big up. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of discussions about that, about like what we'd be called. Also the logo as well.
Yeah.
There was a lengthy logo thing to pick the right logo, to create it and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was good. It was good times. We haven't really talked about the episode yet. We're 25 minutes in.
So transposition is the best crit ever. There we go. Let's get us back on that one.
Yeah.
Velda crits someone and they switch places. It's such
brilliant.
A good
This is great because we've got Shania doing spider climb. We've got Fulton knocking at the door going, "Oh, have you got any shiver?" Like trying to just ask the guy. We've got the first message, and Velda messages Fulton, and Fulton just goes, "Oh," and that's his reply. We've got Keymith. We've got the door that opens. This is a brilliant thing. We've got the door that opens, and Keymith is standing there with a mug of hot tea saying, "My name is Keymith."
Yeah, that was
and
funny.
I still kind of want that mug.
I haven't had Dan for Secret Santa, and basically I sent him a link to a mug that I potentially made on one of our message chats, just going, "Look, I made this mug and it says my name is Keymith," which is a really deep kind of like Easter egg mug. Anyway, I haven't bought it from him yet. Maybe I should just buy it anyway. You know what I mean? It's only like £8. So maybe I'll buy it and then smash it like they do in the actual podcast. Then we enter combat and we still get their name wrong, even though Dan says my name is Keymith. We call him like Kymith or something, which is brilliant. Caragor, there's a mind palace, which is a reference to Sherlock. It's actually a memory technique that you can actually learn how to do it. Yeah. If you think of a place that you know really well and you place things that you want to remember in that place, you can remember them in a strategic list, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So if you know your flat really well, you know your house really well, if you place things you want to remember in your mind, you place them on the stairs or in the key bowl, and you travel through your house placing these things you want to remember in your mind. You can remember things. That's a very kind of basic way of explaining that. I actually teach lessons on how to do that, so if anyone wants to know, come to me. I don't remember things all the time, but
there's stage magicians, isn't there? Not magicians. They're just memory recall people who do it as like an actual stage thing, and people go and they are impressed by how much they can recall, how quickly and how often, just from their own brain. It's a real
Darren Brown, is that his name? Darren Brown. He does a whole thing where he memorizes the whole phone book, doesn't he? In this country, there's like an old book. We don't really get them anymore, but you can get the phone book where he would memorize all the numbers in the phone book. And then the 30 people that came to see the show, he would go, "What's your name?" And they'd be like, "Oh, Sharon Davis." And he'd be like, "Hang on, Sharon Davis, and you live at 13 Mornington Crescent, your phone number." And he would say the phone number, and he'd be like, "What the cuff?" And he would just do it from memory. Crazy.
Witch. He's a witch.
He's a witch.
It's crazy. It's also quite easy to look up the names of the people who have booked to see your show and then memorize a few of their contact details.
Very true. We also reference Ray of Light by Madonna, because this is the first, I believe, Ray of Frost from Velda. Velda cast Ray of Frost, and in the background you hear me singing "Quicker Than a Ray of Light," which is a song by Madonna from the album Ray of Light, released in 1997, produced by William Orbit to critical acclaim. Won 4 Grammys, that album, and it's cited by critics as one of the greatest pop records of all time.
I really rate that album. It's all over the place in terms of like tone, so many different styles of song. But I think it's a great album.
Love it. I think it really is good. If you don't like Madonna, go and check that album out. That will change your mind. It's brilliant, actually. Velda does the whole double damage and changes position with the thug, like we mentioned before. That was amazing. And then we talk about the higher ground from Star Wars.
Nice.
Saying, "Oh yeah, well that's the rule, isn't it? If you've got the higher ground, then you're obviously going to win." Do we want to talk about that?
I thought that was from Avengers. And it was Scarlett Johansson said that to the Hulk when she's trying to calm him down.
What you mean, like in that scene where Loki says to Iron Man, "I have an army," and Iron Man says, "I have the higher ground." You mean that
yeah. To be fair, in Iron Man 2, they do reference the higher ground.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because Tony Stark and Rhodey, they're standing there in their Iron Man suits, and Iron Man's just rebooted, and they've got the killbots coming, and they're like, "We don't want to be down here, we want to be higher up, because this is the kill zone, this is where they're all going to," and then all the robots start landing, and they're like, "Oh shit." And then they've got to fight from the lower ground. Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Nice little recall there.
Marvel recall. There we go. Anyway, I have the higher ground. That means I win. Silver mercury liquid that starts to float across the floor. This ooze. What's it called, Dan?
It is the sanguine ooze.
Sanguine ooze.
Just something they had in a jar. So the thugs don't know what this is. They're just they've been told this is a dangerous thing. So when you guys burst in, they're like, "Quick, use the ooze, throw it," which immediately panics them because it's so gross. And like it says in the module, from that point, the thugs are kind of looking for a way out because this thing's weird. They're aware they're in over their heads. They're getting beaten up. They will take any excuse to flee at this point if things go badly for them, and it will kind of, which is where Fulton and M basically then position themselves at the exits to it, and the massacre ensues, which we get to in the later ones. Yeah. But just know from this point, the thugs were done pretty much.
Right.
Apart from Velda, they thought they could take Velda.
It's really, really good. Really good concept. It's like a swarm, isn't it? We find out as well. So it acts like a swarm.
It's a great little monster.
Really, really cool little monster. I really love that. Then the guy comes up to fight MZ. We find out his name in the next episode, but this is one epic fight with MZ and someone else, one of the thugs. Karagor grapples Kymeth. I'm getting it wrong. Still, I'm getting it wrong.
No
still.
one knows what his actual name is. Okay, it's a cryptid.
Yeah,
You know, people pronounce it wrong all the time.
But I love this. You're whispering into his ear. You're going, "I see you, Kymeth. I see you."
It's a nice little wrestle that he switches out on me at one point, doesn't he? And then we switch back, and it gets very Grecian, doesn't it?
Oh, that's in the next episode. But yes, it does happen like that. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Sorry, Colin.
We haven't got time to dip into the next episode. But that
points.
is the end. It's a real nail biting episode. Like everyone's in a fight. No one knows what's really going on. We've got this ooze. We just still don't really know what it is or what's happening with it. And that's the end of the episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
What a way to end.
Good. Recall and a recall. Very good.
So that was good. Nice one. Anything else you want to say, Dan?
There's some lovely visuals in this episode.
Yeah.
I love the kind of you guys all just bursting in through the windows and the different doors all at once as they try and run to raise the alarm. It's like, it's proper, like, those are the moments you want as a GM, when you make stuff hard for the players because you want to have them to finally get that moment where they kick in the doors and do the cool thing. And this, like, the visual of this was lovely.
Yeah, it was really cool. Really cool.
Even though that wasn't the plan at all, and it was Fulton taking things into his own hands that made that happen.
Often the case, though, isn't it? One of us just goes, "Do you know what? I'm just going to go and do this instead."
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? Ross, Scott, you want to add?
No thoughts from me.
What did the sanguine ooze look like?
It's like kind of Quicksilver, isn't it? It's like a sort of shimmery mercury, not like what's his name from Avengers, but like the it just looks like sort of mercury shimmering.
Why is it called the sanguine ooze then?
Because because all of it's kind of a euphoric ooze, so it makes you happy and calm and relaxed. It's basically like a drug as an ooze, which is why when it gets, I mean, we'll get into this next episode, but it's like its envelop effect means that it makes you ridiculously happy.
Nice.
I'm not sure if it's sanguine. Maybe it should be called the
jolly ooze.
The jolly ooze.
Jolly ooze. That sounds like a really a nice pub.
Blissful slime.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for tuning in and listening to Danger Recall Part 13, where we talked about the Danger Club podcast, episode 15. I want to say thank you to my guests, Scott.
Thank you, Colin, and happy January.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Ross. And thank you to Dan.
Cheers, Colin. Cheers, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Go and tweet us, all of that malarkey. Go and leave us a review. If you haven't already and you're a patron, like, what's going on, mate? Do you know what I mean? See you later. We'll see you in the
See you for Dangerous Wednesdays tomorrow. Bye.